This kid is a gamer. He's a baller. He's a playmaker and a shot caller. In case you did.
Now, moving on to where my heart is in the TD experience, and that is the takedowns part, MMA. I gave you out my my end of year award nominees at the last show, the season finale. I'm not going to reveal the winners of those awards till we actually get back on the air. That's going to be a big deal for the first episode. I'm going to reveal the end of year awards for that. Just quickly on some stuff that happened while we were on break. You know, John Jones, amazing. You've got to really consider what he's done over the past year as one of the greatest years ever in the UFC. Beating a Ryan Bader while he was undefeated, taking a fight on short notice against Shogun and absolutely dominating him. Rampage Jackson, former champion. Rampage, I mean, I thought Rampage looked good against him, but Jones picked him apart towards the end. That was the best shape Rampage has been in his whole career. And then Machida. Jones had a rough first round against him, got hit a couple times, came back in the second round, and put the man to sleep with a submission. I mean, John Jones is just looking amazing right now. It's talking possibly he wanted to take time off after that fight. Now he's saying he's itching to fight again. That might do horrors to the matchup everyone wants to see between Rashad Evans, even though I like Phil Davis against Rashad Evans. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks on the TD experience. But people are saying, you know, 145 in Montreal. It's in March. It really doesn't have a main event yet. We could see John Jones versus Dan Henderson for the light heavyweight title then. I'm going to be honest and say I think Jones would walk through Henderson because I think he'll be able to take him down at will. Jake Shields took Dan Henderson down at will. If he can just get through maybe one right hand of Henderson, which is a big task, if he can just avoid that and be able to get a takedown, I think Jones could finish Henderson in the first round and look really impressive doing it. And now on to UFC 141 and the demise of Brock Lesnar. Brock's been one of my favorite fighters. I can't lie, I'm a WWE fan, but what he did in the UFC was truly amazing. Coming in as a 1-0 fighter, fighting against the best in the world, huge step up in competition, and he rocked it. He did great. He became a UFC heavyweight champion, came back from a huge disease, defended that title successfully, and you got to shoot your hat off to Brock in his career. I mean, after that illness will take a toll on anyone, and I understand him retiring. Overeem, I'm still on the fence about him. Lesnar didn't really try to take him down much, so I'm still, you know, if Overeem down the road is facing someone like Cain Velasquez, who is going to try and take you down and has better striking than Lesnar, I think that could be a problem. And in the future, Junior Dos Santos, I think that's going to be a big problem for Overeem, because we saw against Carwin, Dos Santos can throw in a takedown when he needs it. So if Overeem does start getting the better of the stand-up exchange, which I don't think he will, I think Dos Santos, people always say Overeem, oh, he's the best striker in MMA in the heavyweight division. I think Dos Santos does have better striking than him. I think Dos Santos could be able to pick him apart in that fight with his hands. And he could throw in a takedown or two to steal rounds if he needed it. And the other big thing coming out of 141 was Cerrone and Diaz. I mean, that was a pretty good fight, but Cerrone kind of looked uninspired. He kept getting those trips and stuff. If he would have taken him to the ground, that could have been a completely different story of a fight. Kind of disappointed in Cerrone there. It ended on a sour note. What was an absolutely amazing year. If he would have done that, he would have been 5-0 in the UFC in 1 year, which is unheard of. But now let's talk about this weekend's card, UFC 142 in Brazil. A lot of people talking about it as a weak card. It's headlined by a title fight. You know, you've got Jose Aldo defending against Chad Mendes, who many think deserved a title shot a while back. He's a great wrestler. He's undefeated, coming from Team Alpha Male with great fighters like Uriah Faber and Joseph Benavidez. We saw TJ Dillashaw in The Ultimate Fighter. It's a great camp. He's a great wrestler, which we saw Aldo had problems with. Against Hominick in that last round. Hominick was able to take him down and really, you know, really pound it out. I think the story in this fight is always going to be is Aldo's leg kicks. if Aldo can really chop Mendez down and take the base out from under him, I think Aldo could be on his way to stopping Mendez in the 3rd or 4th round, or maybe just grinding out a decision, because Mendez is a tough guy. He's ready to go. But I also think that Mendez could have the possibility, if he can get some takedowns early, get some success, he could either finish Aldo, or we could be looking at a type of fight like Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. I think he could do that. I mean, he's been known to do crazy things on the ground, like that front flip, things like that. I think it's going to be a great fight that a lot of people are overlooking. There's not a lot of buzz about it, but I think it's going to be a great one. I'm really excited to see it. And the co-main event, which, I mean, a lot that their UFC is promoting as absolute fireworks and stuff. Vitor Belfort welcoming Anthony Rumble Johnson to the middleweight division. You know, Rumble, to win this one, I think you're going to have to do what you did against Dan Hardy. You're going to have to take him down and pound him out. Belfort has some really fast hands. I think it could be interesting if it stays on his feet. Johnson could catch him, but I think if it stays on its feet, Belfort has a really good shot to finish Johnson. If Johnson can take him down, I think Johnson will have a great chance of getting into a decision. Johnson still has that puncher shot on the feet too. It's an interesting fight there, which is, I mean, it's a better co-main event, in my opinion, than what we've got for UFC 143 and Super Bowl weekend. Roy Nelson and Fabricio Verdum. Yeah, it's an okay fight, but is it really a co-main event on a Super Bowl weekend card? I don't think so. And the other fight that I'm really looking forward to on this card is Edson Barbosa and Terry Edom. That's gonna be that's my pick for fight of the night right there. Other than Aldo and Mendez, that's gonna be a great fight. I'm loving that.
This kid is a gamer. He's a baller. He's a playmaker and a shot caller. In case you didn't know, I got T-Bowed. He shattered the mold, and all he does is win. All he does is win games.
Listen,
I got T-Bowed. He shattered the mold, and all he does is win. All he does is unleash.
tell T-Bone, let him go.
It's time.
Turn him loose.